our questions. But the Bible is centered around God's concern and who He is, and as well as His concern to His creation. And so, mao nga kinahanglan aduna tayo proper perspective niyan, or else we will ruin the entire essence of the Scripture. So, ang atong approach sa Bible is that gusto nato mamutubag kini sa tanan natong suliran sa kinabuhi, problema, then you are barking in a wrong book. Kay nga naman, tungod kay wala kini gisulat aron sulbaron direktamente ang imong problema, kundi gisulat kini aron tagaan kita og proper perspective mahitungod sa kung kinsa gyud ang Dios na nagpadayag sa iyang kaugalingon ng higit. So we're still in a series of study in the book of Genesis, or the book of foundations. And so for the last 2 Sundays ato ang hibawan, and we have been introduced to a general sense kung kinsa gyud ang Ginoo. So we learned that from the beginning, God is the creator of all things. And so therefore God is assumed that He already existed, and at the same time God has no beginning. And so last Sunday ato ang struggle kini punta tungod kay common gihapon nga question nato sa ato ang day-to-day basis, especially if you are in struggle. The tendency is that you would tend to ask the question, where is God and why God? So kung atong na-discover last Sunday nga kung mao kanang atong pangutana nga we want God to be wala bagyod. Is God really absent sa mga sitwasyon o panahon sa atong kinabuhi? And I think the direct answer to that is no. It is because God is never absent. Kaya lang, critical point is that why is it He allow things to experience the way we experience it, even though dili nato ganahan experience. And why is it there are unfair experiences in our life? It seems unfair kanato. So I hope and I pray as we proceed, as we go along, kanang mga difficult question in ourselves ato kanang matubag as we embark and as we rediscover who God is as being revealed to us in the Scripture. And so the main intent of the author of Genesis is to give us a comprehensive thought about the origin of all things. Pero gusto na akong tagaan ng komentaryo niya nga the book of Genesis chapter 1 is not about actually how things begin. It's not actually the origin of all things, but it is actually the origin of God. It's not about what, but it's about who is behind of everything. So mo na ato ang discovery. So therefore, kung atong madawat kini nga mga lingwahe, ganina atong ibasa ang entire chapter of the book of Genesis chapter 1. And in fact, it is the 3rd time na atong ibasa na I don't know kung sa inyong gibati karon na for the 3rd time, for the 3rd Sunday, wa gyud ta mohawa pa sa chapter 1. Nya I don't know kung sa inyong feeling, for the 3rd time we read the passage the same. Only nga naatay lahi-lahi nga version nga itong gigamit. No? Ganina lahi ang ibasa ni Nita. Last Sunday, Bisaya po lang itong ibasa. So I don't know kung siya yung debate niya na kung anong we are trying to really read it repeatedly. And so I hope ano na yung mga direct revelations ang inyong ganito. But one thing we can observe reading the Genesis chapter 1 is that it's very simple. Kung tanaw na ito, mga lingwahe nga gigamit ni Moses diri, very simple. Simple sentences ang iyang gigamit. So sa lahat ng magasulti, it takes a genius mind in order for you to be really that simple. Sa kita, pag mag-istorya ta, mag-express na itong sa very complicated na itong istorya. Isang asa na lang. Yeah, to the point is that wala na gintay punto ang ginayon. Pero kung tanaw na itong book, Genesis, very direct statement and very simple. Na kung yung basahon ni sa 5-year-old or 3 years old na bata, makasabot yun siya. So kung makasabot ang bata ni ini, then therefore this particular passage is actually for everyone. Kaya lang sa ato ang stage na adult, atong tanawon kini in a deeper sense kung sa may implication ini sa ato ang kinabuhi. So atong tanawon balik kini ato ang passage karon. But I'll be focusing to you verse 1 and 5. Una ato ang emphasis karon. Chapter 1, Genesis chapter 1, verses 1 and 5. Let me read it again until verse 5. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw that the light was good, and He separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and darkness He called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. It is interesting to note na ang paghimo sa Ginoo sa kalibutan not an instant. Kung atong tanaw ang tinatibukan ng chapter sa Genesis chapter 1, makita nato nga He created the world day per day. Adunay ginatawag nato ng progression and process. And another thing, adunay ginatawag nato ng contrast, na ay formless and then He forms it, na ay empty and then He fills it. So makita nato nga adunay progress and systematic dealing with His creation. So adunay order in a sense if we are going to observe. So makita nato diri that carefully God spent 6 days to fill the earth. Imagine mo kadako-dako sa space, kadako-dako sa kalibutan. Science will tell you na you cannot just travel the world in 1 week. Or in reality, you cannot just roam around the earth for just 6 days. It's impossible. Pero makita nato dili that God only spent 6 days in order to form it. Ang pangutanan, kaya ba nimo ng tuhan? Kaya ba nimo ng gawaton? Knowing sa reality sa atong time karon, knowing sa realidad sa atong adlaw karon. That is why it takes faith to accept a direct and simple statement like this. Kung atong dawaton kini, then everything about the Bible will make sense to you. Kung masabtan, kung ayong dawaton by faith na naghimo sa Ginoo ang kalibutan in just 6 days, na naman ang kinanasabtan nato na tungod kay science will tell you that it happens millions and millions and billions of years ago. But to God, it is only just 6 days. Yeah. Kinahanglan masabtan natin nitungod kay as we progress along, daghan pa kaayog mga, it is as if mysterious object, mystical events in Genesis. Like sama sa later on, makita nato nga naay talking snakes and flaming swords. Sa chapter 3, makita natin. And all the rest, daghan pag mga story makita nato sa Genesis. And so therefore, if you cannot accept the reality that God is able in His power created the universe in just 6 days, then you cannot accept all the miracles and the stories and events in some other parts of the scripture. That is why it is critical to believe it and to accept it as it is. And so pangutana, ano man ngayon ani ang created order ni God? Ano man na ay system like this? And so I think ang sa akong observation, ang close answer na ito makamang is that it is out of pure joy and pure love from God. Mayang gipahimutang gyud ang tanang creation. Niyang pangutana, asa may gipahimutang to prepare it for mankind. Iyang gi-plastar, iyang gi-systemize, iyang gitagaan og sustainability in order for mankind to benefit. That is why nasa passage nato gibasa Genesis chapter 1, makita nato diya the climax of His creation was human being. Adam and Eve, the perfect creation gihimo sa Ginoo. And so therefore makita nato diri that the book of Genesis was actually what we call is a perfect place nga i-prepare sa Ginoo para kanatong tanan. Una sa tanan mo na makita nato diha nga idea, ano mo na order of system Ginoo niya in order that to present to us a perfect place to dwell. A perfect place to dwell. God made the earth beautiful for us. Yet the irony is that we are destroying it. Yamonin ito po karon. Iyang gihimo kalibutan para sa tao, pero ang tao nga iyang gihimo ay nagasira po sa kalibutan nga iyang gihatag kanamin. Siguro wala tayo direktamente nga ginahimo in order to destroy the earth. We think wala tayo ginahimo to destroy the earth, but there are some instance actually na ato ang gina-destroy ang created beings. Like for instance, dili ta conscious sa itong mga garbage. Kabuluta sa Davao City nga na ay city ordinance, di ba? Kung sa may city ordinance na to, na na-agay segregation, sakra ng pansag niya, ano na to, way kapuyo ng unahan, bakanting lote, bayad na itong mga basura. But we don't bother, di ba? I mean, we don't bother. Mga silupin, we don't bother. So we are destroying it in a sense. So let me present to you a short data may tungod sa ato ang ingon sa mga geologists. The earth is perfectly true. Muna igon nila. Tingala kayo sila niya. As they study the universe, as they study our planet, imagine no, kalapad-lapad dyan. Diba science will tell us na miles and miles away of space ang available. But in that miles of space, adunay certain planet that is only livable. Isa lang yun. Wa nila ito. Mga bitaw nga kining vain pursuit kaya ning mga ginahimo sa mga scientists karon nga they wanted to travel other planets. Kaya nga naman gusto nilang sulayan if life could really exist. Kaya nga naman it is impossible, isa lang yun ang pwedeng mapuyan. And so ang tao, out of curiosity, gusto sa tao explore ang universe in order to prove and disprove that the Bible is wrong. Maybe there are some other life form existing, wala lang ta nakabalo. Mga nga sa itong mga movie na ay mga aliens, di ba? Na ay mga Transformers, do I love Transformers? Hindi ko sa stories of Transformers. Yan, kung makita niyo mga stories of Transformers, thousands of years ago, nag-exist na ang mga robots. Yan na. It's so happening, nasaag sila sa Earth. Ang mga story ba? So, muna, ang author, ang gina-present niya sa mga movies is that they want us to think that there is, outside Earth, there is another life form. And what is interesting, kung imong studihan ang mga minds sa mga movie makers, mas labaw ang life form outside the Earth. Like panalitan, aliens are more powerful and more high-tech than the human beings. Yan ang ina-portray. Gusto nilang labuan ang ginatawag nato ang present and simple creation of God. But as they study the geographical formation of our world, the Earth, they were really amazed. Kaya nga naman, I do not give perfect tuning. I hope and I pray as we look at this, your view of God will really change as it changed mine. The Earth distance from the Sun is 93 million miles, according to the scientists. 93 million miles. Yan, ingon sila, if you move the Earth 1 inch, saan ba ng 1 inch, di ba? Tanaw mo na yung tudlo. Ang pinaka-una nga guhit sa iyong fingers. More na, 1 inch. He said, if you move 1 inch closer to the sun, meaning to say, 93 man na. Butang na ito, 92 miles maguna. Butang na ito, inches na lang na siya. No? Imuha mo, 92 inches. Yung scientists, no life form will exist. At that closer move. Imo sila, if you move it away from the sun by 94 inches, no life form will exist. Kaya nga naman, if you move it close, heat will increase. If you move it away from the sun, cold will increase. Severe cold will increase. So di nila na matugkad na ano yung anak. So kanilang conclusion is that more bini ang distance na pwede 93 million miles di ako ganyan. Fixed na. And we all know that the earth is moving around the sun. Mo nag-ingon sa tuwa, o magyud ta ka witness mo ganun. Pero suppose nga tama sila, o atong dawato na. And we all know that it moves around the sun. The only mystery is that it moved perfectly, maintaining 93 million miles away from the sun. Kinsa na gunit niya. Ngunit ako ta, nabi nga na ang earth. Another is that ingon siya, earth tilt. Wala mo nga nagtagilid gamay ang earth. Mabita mo sa globe model, di ba? Sa globe model, medyo tagilid. Kung gamay pa ko, I tried na straight din siya. Mag-yun 90 degrees ba? So, lubago ni mo. So, hindi siya pwede lubago. Okay, yun siya, it tilt 23.5. Kami ka-precise na nga klase nga degree ba? Wala nag-isakto nga 24. Wow. Why booking? 3.5 yun. According to scientists, yung mga na summary sa tilt, 40% magulog sa sun, and then 60% magatubang sa moon. Yan na ang iyang position. Naami siya position. Yan yung scientists, if you tilt 24 degrees ang sun, heat will increase and cold will increase. A drastic change of 40%. Gamay lang na change sa 40%. Mag-suffer good ang life form. Nana ka precise yan. 23.5. Hindi mo pwedeng tulirong gamay namin. Then next is that the Earth's hydrogen. So scientists discovered na Earth hydrogen is 0.007. Pag musaka na gamay, medyo mag-suffer good ang life form. Kaya ang bodies of water musaka. Ang atmosphere magdugaan. Ang air content medyo mag-compromise. So ginahalan, it has to be maintained at that certain number. Kamaragit. Earth's hydrogen. Yeah, the Earth atmosphere is 21% oxygen. Di pwedeng sobra, di pwedeng kulang. It has to be maintained. And it is always maintaining like that. Pero kita na tayo mga kwan, di ba? Grabe ang na global warming, kaya nabuslot ang ozone layer, nangiyunta niya na uy, mag-careful na mo sa environment, you love the mother nature, the mother that does not exist, yan no? So, we take care of the earth, kaya sobra. At I fear like that. And then, when I was in elementary, grabe ang teaching, ang ozone layer sa una, mura lang siya butunis. Yan, pagkabot sa year 2000, dako na yung kayo, mura na siya o stadium. Yung explanation is that, kusog na kayo ang heat of the sun na nagasunod. I don't know if it's really true. And therefore, kung mauna siya, then, it contradicts the idea that God is no longer sovereign in the sense of maintaining this particular data or degree of oxygen levels. So sa may netabo. So I don't know kung tinuod na siya, pero it has to to be this way in order to sustain life. And lastly and finally, very interesting, na kabalo ba mo nga ang asin percentage sa kalibutan is 3.4%, which is also the exact percentage sa tao. Pag musubra ang imong asin sa lawas, high blood, shoot up ang dugo, sakit ang ulo, diba? Lipong-lipong, suka, ana ang buwan. Pag mushoot up ang imong asin sa lawas, pag mugamay sad na, mag-suffer sad ka. The same is true with earth. Very interesting, and discover sa scientists na siya na halos pariya ang composition sa salt content or percentage sa lawas sa tao kung sa ato ang kalibutan. They cannot explain that one. So therefore, makita nato that the earth is perfectly designed. The way it tilted, the way it maintains its distance, the way it maintains its atmosphere, maintain it. One critical point is that give some, by somebody who maintains that one. Nabay nagkunit niya na para dili siya mo palayo, dili siya mo padoon. It's perfectly true. And so therefore, this tells us something, and tells us something deep about God. So what does it imply to us? If God perfectly determines the earth dimensions, even its positions or composition, therefore, nothing happens apart from His will, and He is perfectly in control. Kung hantod karon, tuyok gyapon ang kalibutan, kung hantod karon, musustain gyapon ang life in this present world, then therefore, God is perfectly in control. And apart from that, nothing happens that is not, or that is apart from His sovereignty or will. To me, it's a comfort. Kaya nga naman, because there is somebody who is always above the circumstances and always above everything else. The only problem or the only challenge kanato is that I think this is not a new idea. Dili siya bago kanato. But the very challenge kanato kanunay is that we only come to God when we are in desperate condition. And we only remember Him that He is powerful if everything is out of control and we are desperate. But it is not a given truth and given facts na ito ang idawat plainly that God is in control and nothing happens apart in His sovereignty. Kaya nga naman, kung nakaganit kayo, kung nakatay gamay nga hugot sa ato ang kinabuhi, problema na biyo na ano ka. Yan, nakaganit tayo ngayon nato, medyo mukulang ang ato ang income, ngayon na rin tama, saan na lang. Grabe ang worry dahil nato. Grabe dahil ang ato ang kamalaka. And so therefore, in that sense, we are not fully aware, we have not come to fully understand that God is perfectly in control. If He can maintain the world we live in like that, then therefore He can maintain our tiny lives. Kung kaya sa Ginoo nga i-tune ang universe in that sense, gusto na lang atong kinabuhi, di ba? Perting sa'yo na. Sa'yo mo na saya mag-maintain of universe and earth. Gusto na lang atong life. So it's a truth na kinahanglan natong dawaton by faith. And so therefore, the implication of the phrase, God said, is that nothing He said or He wills, nothing He said or He wills, not what we think or what we say He will, nothing He said or He wills that will not happen or came to be. Therefore, this introduces us to a God whose words are trustworthy. Ang tanan giuna-una sa Ginoo, ang tanan niya gingon, dili mahitabo na di gyud matuman. Matuman gyud kung mahitabo gyud. Exactly as it is. Kunya dili na exactly, perfectly gyud. Perfectly maintaining and will sustain until He will renounce ang tanan niyang gihimo. It cannot be broken. And so therefore, makita natin dito, the Bible wanted us or introduces us a God whose words are trustworthy. So kung mayroon na Ginoo nga luwason yung tao, iyang luwason ang tao. Kung mayroon na Ginoo nga iyang patyo ng tao, iyang buhato na kung kinahanglan. Kung mayroon na Ginoo nga naay bagong kinabuhi nga makita ta, kung only we can come to God, then He will give it to you. Kasama pa sa book of Numbers, God is not like human being that He lies or changes His mind. God is constant and inconsistent, and His word is always trustworthy. That is the kind of God being introduced to us in the book of Genesis. If this is what it implies, then the Bible is a reliable source. Therefore, it is His written instruction. That is why there is a need for men to really understand what the Bible is actually teaching. Yun ang Biblia in 2 Timothy 3:16. All Scripture is God-breathed and is useful for teaching, rebuking, correcting, and training in righteousness. That is the ultimate goal of the Scripture. Not to prove whose religion is right and whose religion is wrong. But the Bible was written for our own benefit, in order for us to learn what was taught by God, and secondly, to avoid what was said by the Lord that is sin to Him, and most importantly, to correct ourselves, to correct our lives for righteousness, to live in accordance to what God has said to us. Maunay gamit sa Biblia. Dili pang debate ang Biblia. Dili pang damay, dili pang daot kung kinsay na sa tama o naay sa mali. But to seek to teach our lives about the true and living God. That is the main purpose of the Scripture. Kung mao ni ang dako nga challenge kanatong tanan is that therefore kung mao na ginasugyot sa Genesis chapter 1, do we value the Bible as God's spoken words? So when God said He created you by faith, imo ba nang nadawat? Umingon ka, nobody is God over you. And then lastly, do we refer to it to ground our life, perception, and principle? Diya ba nato itanong ng atong kabilingon aron mahimong basihanan sa tanan natong panglantaw sa kinabuhi o sa tanan natong prinsipyo sa atong kinabuhi? Usa may mga prinsipyo sa kinabuhi na usahay atong gibarugan. Usahay ang atong gibarugan kung asa ko matao diha lagi ko mamatay. Tama ba yun ang prinsipyo sa kinabuhi? What if ang imong natawhan mali? So do you would not bother to seek the truth? Ano lang ba? Kaya mauna yung naandan, mauna yun siya. That's principle. Okay na siya kung sigurado ka nga tama yun ang imong ibarugan. What if nakakasamali? Di lang ba ni mo i-bother na imuha? Discover yun ang tama? So that's the point. So moving on today, we will look into the application of the phrase, God saw. Diba? Na ako'y gusto i-highlight lang naman. Diba? Ang i-highlight natin is, what is the implication that God said? Kung mauna, gingon sa Ginoo. Kaya makita natin sa Genesis chapter 1, everything happened. When God spoke, something will happen. When God declares, it will happen according to what He declares. And so therefore, the very words of God is powerful in itself. But what is the implication when God saw and God assessed His creation? And so what is the implication of God said? And so today, this is our second emphasis, na makita natin din that it implies that God knows best. He knows more than what you know is best. So kung ato tanawon ang six-day creation account, makita nato na adunay repeated phrase. No? Kining God saw and it was good. Pero kung ato tanawon kini, makita lamang na ay instance na wala niya gingon. In the instance of the second day creation, no? Ingon niya that it was good on the first day, third, fourth, 5, and 6. Pero ang second day niya, after the creation of Adam, God never used the term God saw and it was good. Very interesting. But the rest of the process, makita nato that God remarked that everything was good in His sight. And so therefore, sa may pasabot niya, the author of Genesis is presented to us that the Creator as both loving and a wise God. He is a wise and loving God. Muna yung ginasuggest niya. Wise as the only one who knows what is only good for men. And loving as to what He provides is always good for men. And so, tanaw na ito only God alone is wise. He alone is wise. Only God knows what is good for us. Kaya ba na niyong dawato? Siya yun. Mas nakabalo siya. Pero ang problema naman kay preference. Kanya mo gusto. Kanya mong plano. Kanya mo ang desire of your heart. Because you really think that it is good for you. The problem is that, is God wiser to you? So for instance, in every affairs of our lives, maybe sa family, sa personal, sa profession, sa work, and decision, etc., etc., we think that we know best rather than God knows what is best for us. Mabitaw gani magkalarakas, morning atong kinabuhi karon kita nga mga hamtong morning atong kinabuhi karon tungod kay nagginahitag ulo atong bata pata. Kaya itong unahuna, kabaluta kung asa ta padulog, kabaluta kung siya gusto na itong may tabo sa itong mga gustong diktahan sa itong mga ginikanan. Kita'y magbuot, ako'y magbuot. Yung mga na makarelate ta sa itong mga anak karon, di ba? Yung mga suko ta sa ila. Ayaw mo pagbuot. Anak ko'y ulitaw, grabe na maayo sa magbuot. And I always told him, Jed, kami magbuot, dili ikaw. Yung ginataga-tagaan mo sa kwarta sa iyang dito. No? Tagaan sa kwarta, kani ako gusto palito. No. Na mo siya, even though it is your money, we are still your parents. We should decide what to do with your money. Kaya kung yung patuyangan na yun ang tao mo, na itong gusto mo ako, buhato na po ang akong nakita na maayo o tama sa akong pananaw. Nakalimutan that there is a God who is wiser than us. And here is a God who plans our life and must and should dictate our life. Pero daghan ang tao na di ganahan. Even sometimes we don't want that. We don't want that God, somebody will dictate what we want with our lives. Often we come to God for consultation. Mao ka na may tapog, no? Magplano ka una, no? Ngayon ka sa Ginoo nga, Lord, maunta na yung prayer, Lord, maunta na yung gusto, Lord, maunta na yung kani, kuhaan siya, daghan na yung gusto. So we come to God not seeking His approval, not seeking His plan, but seeking His approval. Let me illustrate that by giving you a story. And the story is entitled The Clean Sheet. Listen carefully. A young man was eager to grow in his Christian life. He got a piece of paper, made a list of all the things he would do for God. He wrote down the things he would give up and the places he would go to minister and the areas of the ministry he would enter. Hindi kayo plano. Gusto siya malagad sa Ginoo, yung isulatanan, asa siya mga lagad, kung sa lugar yung natuan, kung sa iyang buhaton para sa Ginoo. Hindi kayo yung plano. And he was excited. And then he took the list to the church and put it on the altar. Pananglitan din sa pulpit. Iyang gibutan. And he thought he would feel joy and happy. But instead, he felt empty. Hindi siya kasabuhan. Ano man? So he went home and started adding to his list. Balik siya, lista. He wrote down all things he would do and wouldn't do. He took a longer list this time and put it on the altar and still felt nothing. So he was disturbed. He went to a wise and old pastor, told him the situation, and asked for help. And the pastor and the old pastor said, take a blank sheet of paper, sign your name at the bottom, put it on the altar. And the man and the young man did, and then peace came to his heart. Do we come to God with an empty sheet? Or we come to God with a long list we want, and we want God to approve our plans? This is very critical. Dili lang sa mga young professionals, sa mga young people, even kita, mga adults. We claim to be like, I know what's best for my family, I know what's best for my children, and I know what's best for us. So we have a long list of plans presented to God. So it's a challenge. Do we come to God with a clean paper, or we come to God for approval? The phrase God saw and it was good implies therefore. Secondly, He only provide what is good for you. First, that God is ultimately wise, and so therefore you must come to Him. Understand first His plan and His direction for your life, because you want Him to be wise over our life. And then the second implication is that if we truly believe that God saw that it was good, then it implies that He only provides what is good for men and good for you. Kaya ang problema. And a story in the book of Genesis and Exodus chapter 16. Masayod ba na? Sa Exodus chapter 16, the Israelites complained to God. No? So may natabod sa Exodus chapter 16. For 40 years, gitagaan sila sa Ginoo, no other food but manna. It's like a flour, a oatmeal na nahulog gikan sa langit. And every morning, mo na ilang kulit na. And every day, mo na ilang